Hi everyone, this is Sarah, the Healthy Home Economist, and today in this video, I'm going to talk to you about traditional preparation of corn. Now, corn has gotten a really bad rap over the last couple of decades because it has gradually become genetically modified. And the fact is that most corn today that you find on the market, whether it's in a processed food or in a restaurant or wherever, it's genetically modified. And many people have developed allergies to corn over the last 20 years or so. So it's developed this bad reputation, but the truth is that corn is a very healthy traditional food when you source it properly and you prepare it carefully. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that today so you can enjoy corn. I love corn and we eat it in our family. We are just very careful with where we buy it and how we prepare it. And if you miss your cornbread and your grits, take these precautions and you can enjoy it in your diet as well again. Unless, of course, you have an allergy. But for those of us that don't have an allergy, we still need to be careful. So I'm going to suggest that you always insist on organic corn only. And in addition, I would suggest that in addition to organic, it should be non-GMO verified. And the reason for that is even organic corn is subject to cross-pollination with genetically modified crops, genetically modified corn that might be in the area. So getting organic and non-genetically modified certifications ensures that it's not only organic, grown without chemicals and pesticides, but it's also not been subject to cross-pollination or cross-contamination, I guess is a better word, from genetically modified corn that may be in the area. So those are the two tips I would give you for sourcing corn. Once you get a good source of corn, then you can go ahead and take the next step and prepare it properly. Now, I would suggest that cornbread is probably one of the #1 foods that people enjoy in their home. And you need to soak it because corn is a grain. Corn is not a vegetable, which a lot of people believe it is. It's actually a grain. And because of that, it needs to be soaked in order to deactivate the anti-nutrients and make it digestible. Corn requires an additional soaking medium of what's called lime water, and this will release the B vitamins in the corn, particularly the niacin, vitamin B3. And this is very important, particularly if your ancestors ate a lot of corn in their diet, you eat a lot of corn in your diet and it's a staple. You need to make sure those vitamins are released. And even if corn is only an occasional food in your diet, I would recommend, if you're going to go to the trouble to make a corn dish, you might as well make it as nutritious as possible. And lime water is very simple to make. I have a video about that on my blog. You basically just take a clean source of calcium carbonate, dolomite powder, mix it with some water, let it settle, and the water that results is the lime water. It's not actual lime juice, which is what some people believe it is. It's actually lime water. And you can see I've prepared some lime water here, and it's clear. It looks like regular water, but it's actually had the dolomite powder settled out for a period of time. It only takes a few hours. But check that video on my blog if you want to know how to make it. It's very inexpensive to do, and it keeps, once you make it, just throw it in your fridge and it'll be ready whenever you need it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to soak corn flour for cornbread. Again, there's a recipe for soaked cornbread on the blog. Go ahead and look at that. But I'm just going to show you the process of soaking the corn flour today. And in order to do that, I've got 2 cups of cornmeal and also 1 cup of corn flour. And the difference is basically just in the grind. The cornmeal is more coarsely ground than the corn flour. And cornbread, you know, has that nice texture to it that we all love, which is why you use the cornmeal and not all corn flour. So you're going to put 2 cups of cornmeal and 1 cup of corn flour in a bowl. And then just keep those proportions in mind. So if you want to make a half a batch, just cut all of this in half. I've got 2 cups of buttermilk here. You can use buttermilk or you can use soured raw milk. I've had some people ask, can you use yogurt or kefir? Yes, you can use that, but I find the best results with buttermilk or soured raw milk. They give the right consistency. I've also had some people ask, can you use a non-dairy soaking medium? only if you make it yourself fresh. You can't use almond milk, you can't use coconut milk, you can't use oat milk from the store. They're all heavily processed, And because we're going to soak this corn flour on the counter for 12 hours, adding a dead processed food in there as a soaking medium is going to encourage the development of pathogens. And so you don't want to be doing that. If you want a non-dairy medium, you can make almond milk or coconut milk yourself fresh. You can do that, and I have recipes on my blog for how to do that. Or it's easier, you can use filtered water and lemon juice instead. I have never used water and lemon juice to make cornbread, so I think it would negatively affect the taste and the flavor. So unless you have a dairy allergy, I would recommend that you go the buttermilk or the soured raw milk approach. That's just my recommendation. So once you've got the cornmeal and the corn flour in the bowl, pour in 2 cups of your buttermilk. Remember, I've got 3 cups of flour here. 2 meal, 1 flour. So I've got 2 cups of the soured raw milk. You can also use 1.5 cups of the buttermilk if you like. That'll make it a little more solidified if you'd like, but you can also use up to 2 cups. And then 1 cup of the lime water. And these combined will release the vitamins in the corn and make it very, very digestible. You'll be amazed at how well this soaked cornbread will sit on your stomach. It will be very digestible and very, very pleasant after effects after you eat it. You'll be it's very filling as well. So you can see the consistency of the corn flour, soaking corn flour and meal here. It's quite liquidy. But no worries, once you add in the remaining ingredients for the cornbread, it will be the perfect consistency once it comes out of the oven. Once you've mixed your corn flour and your cornmeal really well with your soaking medium, go ahead and cover it on the counter. Just a large dish towel or a flour sack cloth work great. Just cover it on the counter for 12 hours or up to 24 if you like. I hope you enjoy this video on how to soak corn flour. You can apply these proportions of lime water and buttermilk to other corn products like grits as well. So you just adjust based on how much you're cooking and soak it overnight. If you found this video helpful to you, please click the like button below.